Hey Capricorns, and welcome to this 2018 year ahead forecast done by me, Sky, where I will be channeling and looking at some of the astrology and tarot coming in related to your year ahead of 2018. So for those of you who are new to my channel, this is basically what I do. I do a lot of tarot, astrology, and channeling, and I forecast big celestial events coming up and look into general collective, micro, and macrocosmic experiences coming in. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so that you can get a heads up when content like this in the future arrives. So anyway, Capricorns, I feel that you are one of the strongest signs in 2018. What you've had to go through in 2016 and 2017 has forged something much more solid within you than you may realize, as I feel that Capricorn coming into 2018 in like January and February might feel a little bit weak, but it's like something is being catalyzed within you. There's like a new relationship to productivity that you're taking on, and a new relationship to accomplishments and aspirations coming in. But through some of the wear and tear I feel psychically and physically that may have happened to you over the last 2 years, the beginning of 2018 kind of has to be a step back, and also like an organization and an outline of what you want to accomplish. As many of you know, Saturn is in your sign this year and about like 2 years after this. So this is like one of the most powerful parts of time during the 30-year cycle of Saturn that you get to have, Capricorn. But it's not specifically the most easy time, but there's just a lot of ability to change with your own hard work any circumstance that you're not happy with in your life. Saturn transits for anyone on the sun or personal planet like the moon, rising sign, or even making strange aspects to other planets tends to be not the easiest time of life, but it tends to be a very empowering time of life where you basically learn like what you're made of. Saturn is at home in Capricorn, so for example, I feel that you Capricorn can have a much better experience of this than like the Sagittarians and Scorpios and even Libras. It's okay, it's actually exalted in Libra, but I just know a lot of Libras who really struggled with Saturn in Libra. But basically, Capricorns, this is your energy in and of itself, the whole energy of breaking things down to the foundation and basically purging everything away so that you can build a strong foundation, reinstated into you and sort of being innovated in a way by you. So 2018 as a whole comes in to restructure the foundations of your life. And on that note, a lot of Capricorns can have the move, a wonderful time to build a house, to build a business, to build a corporation, to build a marriage stronger than anything you've ever had before, basically to make anything stronger. It can also be a really important time to renovate something, so to make like your home structure stronger, to get into the relationship values with your partner and understand how you can have a more stable experience. It feels very supported to try. Basically, I feel that Capricorn hasn't been very supported to speak their mind or to have an opinion, but now that changes. So maybe over the last 3 or 4 years, you've tried to like get to the bottom of relationship dynamics and you've tried to lay all your cards out on the table, and maybe you felt reprimanded for that. But I feel that now moving into 2018, that has changed. So it will be important for Capricorn to not be scared. Basically, if you think, well, I've thrown all my cards on the table before and only been reprimanded for that, why would I start now? That's the problem area with Saturn and Capricorn, because the tide has shifted, and there comes a point with this energy especially that when you throw your cards out on the table, if that's not respected, if that's not and this is where it gets difficult, Capricorns. You get into a deal with your ego and the ego of others around you in this. Basically, when you put what your needs are out on the table, that can either be like very respected by other people but disagreed with, and you can mistake that for like disrespect. You basically have to be able to see through it and have very clear vision on what other people's reactions who are important to you, what other people's reactions are to what your core desires and needs in life are. It's okay for people to disagree with you, but the problem is when people disregard what you need. There's like a difference between disagreement and disregard. Try to be able to see that difference and that key, and that should tell you whether or not you need to stay in the relationship or go, or to stay in the location you are or go, or to stay in the career you are in or go. Disagreement versus disregard. Because there's something a lot deeper than just all of these face value type of things, even the face value of these seemingly depth-filled experiences, because who else is in your sign? Capricorn, Pluto. So you have Pluto and Saturn, and Mars will also be coming up in late March. So 3 very malefic types of energies in your sign, but oh my God, Capricorn, the power and potential and possibility that that gives you. Some people can become quite stuck this year. Some people can become quite stagnant. But if there's one thing that Capricorn does have, despite a difficult experience, it's the ability to gain strength and to climb the mountain and to endure. And through that endurance, initiate a change unlike you have ever seen before. So Pluto's been there for a decade now, Capricorns. It's the slowest moving planet in our solar system. It takes it hundreds of years to revolve around the sun. It can spend anywhere from like 10 to 30 years in your sign. It doesn't spend that long in Capricorn. I believe off the top of my head, this may be wrong, that it goes into Aquarius in like 2022 or something. So it's still got a good like 4 or 5 years though. I'll put in the description box what the exact date is because I'm not actually sure off the top of my head exactly, but I know that it's still got a good amount of time left in Capricorn. So I feel that the Capricorns who are born from around like January 1st to like January 10th will be feeling the Pluto energy most strongly right now. And the more earlier Capricorns, like December 21st to around like January 3rd, will be feeling the Saturn energy more strongly. So you like New Year Capricorns, like you January 1st and 2nd Capricorns, really, really Saturnized and Plutonized this year. But for those of you who are like CEOs or own companies or have lots of resources, you can get more power than you've ever had before. Although there can also be a temptation in a lot of Capricorns to misuse power. Not saying you guys would do it. I mean, obviously there will be a lot of people watching this video, so there's going to be a little bit of everybody here. But really try to be integrity based, because the reward that you get the reward that you get by having integrity, Capricorn, is not necessarily a better bank account or a better experience of life, but you get surrounded by people with integrity. That's the only difference. Like, sure, maybe you can have more money or like bigger houses or less money or smaller houses by sort of operating in a dark, non-integrity based way, because those more Solon energy timelines to get into create a lot of changes on the exterior, and you can sort of get deluded that it's like a better change, like the bigger house, the bigger bank account, but it can really go either way very easily, basically create a lot of change again with Pluto, the sign of transformation. In Capricorn, the sign of resources, money, career. So you can basically have so much transformative, even destructive, like destroy something and rebuild it from the ground up energy relating to 10th house matters, Capricorn matters, career, prestige, long-term value. But the matter and the meat and potatoes of it is to still find integrity within that and to still find the higher realm, because that you're just pulling in whatever you put out basically right now. It's quite simple. Astrologically, other things happening for you, Capricorn. Uranus will be going into Taurus in May. That will be a trine. I feel, again, huge changes in money energy and huge changes in career and innovation in general. Like basically a completely new way of making money or new currency energy comes in, definitely. I'll be doing a full video on Uranus and Taurus later in the year, probably around like April, I would say. But the key again with this energy is to find something stable and solidified within yourself, Taurus. Finding an identity, which is, I'm sorry, Capricorn, I called you guys Taurus. So Taurus connections and Taurus people may play a big role, because I do feel like a really strong input of Taurus energy into the Capricorn timeline. So you guys might want to check that year ahead as well to get more information, or for those of you with like Taurus rising or Taurus moon. Anyway, Capricorns, it's important to find a solid identity within yourself, so that the volatility energy of Uranus connecting with very stable fixed earth Taurus energy doesn't basically feel like a lightning strike onto a tree or a terrible earthquake within you. It's like finding shelter from that type of energy becomes imperative this year. And as you guys may have seen if you saw other videos in this series, I'm introducing 4 concepts that I'm channeling in for each sign. For Capricorn, the first concept that I channeled in for you guys was clicking in your head that the world is in your hands. So Capricorns again have been feeling so eroded, I think, by not a lot of support, by having had Pluto in your sign for 10 years now. And the further that an outer planet that takes a really long time gets through its transit, the more power basically that you're given. So around like 2008 to 2011, that could have been like a strong crisis or trauma period for a lot of Capricorns. But as time passes, you start to delve into the core of that trauma and understand why that needed to happen, understand why you had to be so drenched in that energy, and understand that your purpose may have been unavailable to you had you not had it. And then when that click happens, it's like you see how much power you've gained through that experience. Even if you feel like you don't have money, even if you feel like you don't have the career or the relationship, there's this power that every Capricorn has, regardless of, even if you're homeless or something, that the rest of the zodiac does not have. And clicking what that is, and even like I myself can't quite understand it. I don't have that much Capricorn in my chart, but I just know this to be true, that you have to understand where that power is and how you can transmute it into something stronger. Again, that's the Pluto theme, the transmutation of these very grounded, real, tangible Capricorn themes. The second theme that I got for Capricorn is forming a new relationship with power. And again, that sort of goes into that integrity experience as well. Because as Pluto continues moving, as it advances further and further into Capricorn, more and more power will be distributed into the Capricorn archetype. So despite, again, feeling like you might be being sort of drowned by this energy, again, Pluto's natural ruler of Scorpio, very deep water, fixed energy, despite feeling a little bit drowned and drenched and almost in like a brine of sorts of energy, day by day, Capricorn, your strength grows, especially with Saturn coming in to, I feel like, fix some of the health issues. I think, again, from being so drained and so overwhelmed by Pluto, there can be some health issues in Capricorn, like small things like chronic dehydration or chronic hormonal imbalances. Again, Pluto is a hormone planet as well. So learning how to breathe again, learning how to sleep right, and to put things into your body, food, water, in a more consistent way, I feel does a lot for you, and that changes who you are and how you respond to energetic deposit within you, basically power. And understanding that power doesn't change like the color of your eyes, or power doesn't change the experience that you have when you're in love with somebody. It's a very backdrop type of energy, which we can convince ourselves that our identity can benefit from, but it really doesn't create changes in the identity. It creates changes in the aesthetic. So seeing through that, sometimes Capricorn can get caught up in like, well, if I make this much money, or well, if I get this kind of house, that's going to solve my commitment issues, or that's going to solve people not really being loyal to me, when in reality, it doesn't elicit any kind of change in those departments. That happens within. And that's, again, a very strong place of foundational structure that I feel Saturn is implanting itself into. The next point for Capricorn is integrating minimal and grandiose concepts. So integration in general, I feel, again, this could be that Uranus energy coming in by trine, sort of a volatility in like hoarding almost, and wanting to get rid of many things at once. And this may and may not be like real physical hoarding, but like perhaps with difficult emotional experiences you've had, you really pile those up and keep getting power off of them and keep getting motivation. And then all of a sudden you come to yourself like 3 or 4 months later and you have like this huge purging period where you have to sleep for like 3 days straight. You get like a food poisoning, or you get this like extreme insatiability come in where you have to get rid of it all. And then you basically go back into this place of like sucking in more emotional stimulation to thrive. And that deals with Jupiter and Scorpio as well. I did a video on that. You guys can check the top right hand corner. It'll be there. And especially for those of you with Scorpio placements, I feel that to be most accurate. But even if you don't have Scorpio in your chart, the Jupiter and Scorpio energy kind of has made this a collective theme of like extreme emotional activation to be purged out and then like vampirically sucked back in again. It's like this crisis trauma vacuum experience, if I were to say. And for you Capricorn, it becomes like parting it out and organizing it and outlining it into something that's real. So journaling could be really good this year, very simplistically. Understanding what is sort of your kryptonite as a person, what triggers you, what brings on these periods of emotional purge and re-existence. And that leads me into the last concept for Capricorn, which is embracing divine connection and culmination. So this basically, the reason that this is happening most obviously to me, and it may be different for you, feels to me to be like a fear of closure and fear of divine connection in a way, or lack of trust in divine connection. I feel that trust is very emphasized for Capricorns because it's been very broken down by Pluto. Again, because sometimes when you trust too much in other people, even if their intentions are good, it can make you stray from yourself because you think that other people will pick up the pieces if something goes wrong. So for that reason, when you have a strong Pluto transit, it doesn't tend to bring in many trustable people who you can confide in, because that can distract you from what's happening within. So definitely see that and understand how perhaps having been so betrayed by so many people was the biggest blessing, because now you can come back to yourself versus always having to rely on someone else to come back to. I feel that that's huge for Capricorn, and I'm not going to really push it any further than that because I think that that's where that needs to end. Your tarot card of the year, Capricorn, is, let me draw it here, Ace of Wands. Beautiful. I'm so happy to see some fire energy come in for you guys. So new creative projects, beginnings. So Saturn has just come into your sign. It starts a 3-year cycle. Really allow your creative energy to thrive in 2018 so that you can structure it in that Saturnian way into like a thriving business, into a thriving marriage, into a thriving relationship with yourself. And allow yourself to accept that creativity can solve problems. Sometimes Capricorn can get a bit doom and gloom in the sense that everything just has to be like a real solution. Sometimes just your solar plexus energy and the creative concepts that you conceive into your life can solve everything, and or at least can input new structures for you to build off of. So really harnessing on that. For those of you who are like musicians, actors, or artistic in some way, I feel that you can like release the album this year or plan out a 5-year plan that puts you on top of your sector of work. Hone in on the creative energy. I've been so happy to be here and to give this 2018 year ahead reading. If you guys would like to check out the companion write-up that I did, you can click in the center of your screen right now to download it instantly to your smartphone or computer. I think it's wonderful. It goes month by month with a tarot card for each month and details the collective energies coming in, and you can sort of prepare yourself to see what happens. Subscribe, like, comment if you haven't already. I've so enjoyed being here for you all. Much love. Talk soon. Bye.